Yeah, you turn your back, the blow was low. Yeah, literally, it's like betrayal. Like, literally, this is what happened to me. We stood behind the noose. I tied the rope. Turn away when it falls off track. Make believe so I don't react. Huh. Ignore the signs and let it all go. I was naive. You were yourself, you know. You tried your best to put me through hell. Stab my back, and you don't think twice. Bite my hand, and you won't survive. I turned my back. The blow was low, and then should have known better that you can't be saved. Should have seen it coming. Now the debt's been paid. Should have known better that you can't be saved. I should have seen it coming that you dig your own grave. Yeah, that is remarkably similar to the betrayal that happened to me in Mexico. Yeah, like super similar. It's just interesting how we all deal with it too, you know? It's like, I know with me, when that betrayal happened, for me, it was like, I actually didn't get really that angry. I was really hurt. And it's funny. One thing my mentor always tells me, he says, most people lose their grief and they escape into their anger. And he said about me is like, one thing about you is like, you've never abandoned your grief. And for me, anger is harder than grief. Like for me, sadness comes easier than actually anger does. Like for me, my father was so fucking angry all the time that like I divorced that part of my personality outside of myself. And now I'm like learning how to integrate anger back in my personality. Cause a lot of the time when challenging things happen in my life, it's sadness, it's pain, it's thinking about all the good times and everything we shared together in this circumstance, and just being like, yeah, it's like, man, when we were like making up, like, man, like we both like shed tears. You know, one night we just talked for like four or 5 hours. We like smoked weed and just like talked and just like got all our feelings out. And I remember like both of us were just like fucking crying, you know, just about stuff that happened early in our life. And as we were kind of figuring out why everything happened, you know, but for me, it's like, yeah, like sadness and pain. It's like, that's kind of what I tend to go into. I'll just go into the pain. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I haven't been here for a while. And yeah. And actually, like I just said, I think in some sense, this is a aspect of life, this like bitter anger, the bitterness, you know, like this is a question for me is like, hey, am I repressing my bitterness? You know, because like a lot of people will say like, oh, turn the other cheek, like don't give in to your anger or your bitterness. It's like partially, but like if you never feel your bitterness and anger, it's there and it's festering, right? So like a thing that like me and all of us have to do is like feel your anger, feel your bitterness, just like don't let it consume you. It's like give it an outlet, like feel it, experience it, and then move on and turn the other cheek, forgive, that kind of thing. But that's the spiritual bypassing that so many people do, especially in spiritual communities, is rampant for it, is that people they'll try to move on before they've experienced and felt the pain and the hurt. And then that's when you get like the, you know, white robes and the holier than thou attitude and the soapbox and all that bullshit. You know what I mean? All the people that you're just like, I don't feel any weight or substance to your being. You're like all love and light. And, you know, like I'm thinking like the New Age movement. It happens all the time there. And I've had friends who kind of were like that. And then it's funny because then you talk to their partners or their girlfriends, and then they tell you, oh, like he's fucking, when shit hits the fan, he gets fucking angry. And this is another friend I had a few years ago, where it was like he was very positive, like overly positive all the time, and like couldn't talk about the dark, like couldn't really relate to darkness. Like I'd be like, hey man, like I'd be sharing shit I'm going through, and it was like they never quite connect with you. They never write. They're not compassionate. You know what I mean? They're not willing. They don't have the because they haven't had the courage to go into their own pain. They don't have the courage to go into yours or be with you. They're afraid of your pain because it will remind them of their pain, right? And so like I was just like, I remember telling my mom, I was like maybe he's just like a fucking like unbelievably awesome guy. Like, you know what I mean? And then yeah, I got to know his girlfriend and she told me a whole other story, like emotionally abusive, like things I had no clue about, no idea about, blindsided me when I figured that out. But yeah, so it's like that holier than thou. So that's why I would always say it's like, you know, to anyone who says like, oh, don't get angry, don't get frustrated, don't get bitter. It's like, yeah, beware letting the darkness fester, because then it comes out subconsciously in your relationships in really dark ways, really passive aggressive, really manipulative. So yeah, that's why for me, I'm always doing my best to be like keeping my demons right beside me. And like in the last 6 months, like I know where my demons are. I don't have violent tendencies physically, but in my head, I can sometimes have like fucking, some violent kind of, when I get really fucking furious, if I feel really betrayed or wronged. So actually, you know what? No, I actually do tap in anger, but this is what's interesting. I don't act on my anger. Like, okay, that's good. It's not good to act on my anger, but for me, my anger and my rage is more subconscious, and it momentarily flickers into my awareness, but it doesn't stay for very long. And I don't have very much time or experience in really feeling it. And that's my growth edge, is like allowing that anger and that fury, the rage to like come into my awareness and to sit with it, like in meditation or something. Sit with it so it doesn't fester, because I know that the more it festers, the more violent it has to get internally to get my attention, because really it's my subconscious trying to bring to my conscious the shit I have to work on and face and experience in myself, right? And again, the more it festers, the more intense it has to get my attention. And I think in a lot of ways, potentially that's happening with Lee too, is like, this is the darkest he's ever got. And I can feel it again, even vocally. This is the darkest he's ever got. And I think it's, potentially like me, he's kind of like, it's in the back, but he hasn't fully went there. And then it's had to get so intense to catch his attention. And then now he's going, oh, I can't look away because this is getting progressively deeper and darker the more I shove it away. If you guys want to check out another clip from this episode, click here. And if you want to check out more clips on this topic, click here. And if you want to check out the full episode that this clip is taken from, you can click the link in the description below. And that's it. So I'll see all of you in the next one.